Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of December 19th. We're going to just jump right in here, Pisces, and we're going to do like a Celtic cross this week, actually. And we're going to see what is going on for you this week. We are going to clarify it and everything. But you start off with that Nine of Wands there. That first position with the Nine of Wands is your just general energy for the week. So, you could be kind of like in a little bit of a defensive mood. I feel like you've been through something in the recent past and you're kind of just like, kind of trying to pick a direction. I also feel that you need to, you have the Hermit as your crossing energy, and it's giving me the vibes of needing to realize that you leveled up. This is the After Tarot, this deck that I'm using here. And there's two people on this Nine of Wands. And, I feel like for some of you, number one, it could be about asking for help. But intuitively, that's not really what I'm getting here, Pisces. I'm getting more that I feel like you're leaving something behind. It could be a person, doesn't have to be. But, the Hermit as your crossing energy really says that you've been through something, but you don't see it. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross. And the Hermit is standing at the top of the mountain. He's been through something. I also think it's super interesting that on this Hermit card, that he's holding this snake. Snakes represent transformation. They also represent reinvention as well. But, he's standing at the top of a mountain. There's some sort of achievement. This reading is telling me there's like some sort of achievement that you need to realize that you have had, but it's not really like achievement. I feel, I know that makes this way more confusing. I feel like it's you. I feel like you have changed. You have, that's the achievement, is that you're on another level. And, there might be some people, places, or things that you have to leave behind. And I feel like this has been a story, that you have been dealing with for a while. In the area of what's on your mind, you have the King of Pentacles, literally stability. I feel a lot of you could be thinking about your finances as well, or just creating financial stability. I actually kind of like this. I do not like the King of Pentacles very much because he's too much, especially in the area of thinking, he is too much conventional thinking. He doesn't think outside the box sometimes. He just thinks about the way things have always been. And so he kind of sticks to what works. There really isn't anything wrong with that, by the way. There's nothing wrong with doing what works, obviously, in any area of your life. But it's like when we get stuck only doing the things that work, that's when we aren't growing. We're not expanding. We're not innovating. We're not coming up with new ideas. And I really believe we're in a time of innovation. So I keep telling people 80-20 rule, 80% of the time I would be, just doing what works. 20% of the time I would be experimenting. Look at my channel. You can literally see me doing it in every single video that I do, in every single set of videos that I put up. I'm constantly trying new things, right? But 80% of the time, I just do what works. So I kind of feel that here. The other thing I want to point out is for those of you looking for love, clearly could be an earth sign. You have the King and Queen of Pentacles here, and it goes down to you, the High Priestess. So it wouldn't surprise me if you had an earth sign coming in for you. Could be a Capricorn or a Taurus, but take it how it resonates. You have Virgo right here, although Virgo is your crossing energy, but it doesn't really matter. But I do like that. In the area of your foundation, you have the Page of Swords. I also kind of like the Page of Swords energy, where it's showing up. And, really we should have gone here because I can tell you why. This is why I really like it, is because of the High Priestess right here. The Page of Swords is a card of curiosity and being curious. Sometimes I like the Page of Swords, sometimes I don't. In your reading, I really like the Page of Swords because you have that High Priestess there. The High Priestess, I feel, is almost like an opportunity. I feel like it's something, really that has potential, that is either you already have it or you're about to have it in your life for a lot of you. This opportunity, I feel like saying opportunity, feels like could be like a business opportunity or a project you're working on or something like that. And I feel like there's a lot of potential here. But the Page of Swords kind of tells me you need to explore it more. I feel like for those of you that are thinking about exploring a business idea, it could also be a personal project, could also be something to do with your health is what's popping into my head. I'm not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice. But I feel like there's a need for exploration. I feel like there's a need for study, for looking into it and just, learning as much as you can about it for some reason. I don't know. That's what I get. In your past position, this is the energy that you are moving past. You have the Seven of Wands. It's interesting that on this Seven of Wands, he's literally defending his position at the top of a hill, kind of. Although it looks like there's more of a hill behind him. You know what's really interesting is I get this energy of you just no longer. It's like you're no longer trying to prove anything to anyone. I really feel some of you have kind of let go of this energy of approval. I don't know. That's what's like popping into my head here. Normally, I don't clarify the past position, but we are actually going to clarify this because I do want more detail on this here, Pisces. There's like more. Next, we are going to look at your very near future. You have the Queen of Pentacles. So gathering resources. I feel like something's making you a little bit happy, and maybe you've been a little bit stuck in like stinking thinking. Just based off your astrology, Pisces, doesn't really surprise me. I mean, to me, I think, if you compare the last 2 years, like when we get to March of 2023, if you look back over the past 2 years from March, I think you're going to feel a lot better like in March. I feel, and it's going to be something that you notice. It's not like, sometimes I think we start to feel better, but it's kind of like we slowly start feeling the improvements, right? I do feel like there's like a drastic feeling of change when we get to March for you, Pisces, but probably after your birthday period, so probably when we get into Aries, I would say, but it doesn't matter. And I think there will be improvements between now and then. And this is like one of those improvements where I feel that some of you could be improving your finances, or you could have something that really helps you out financially or makes you feel more courageous financially. It's kind of like, I get this feeling of being proven right here as well with the Queen of Pentacles. So it's like maybe you're taking a risk in business and it's like you were right. You get the result you were hoping for, therefore making you correct. So I kind of get that type of, not approval, but just proving yourself right type of energy. Feels very good. I also do feel something about paying something off right now. I don't know, kind of weird message that's popping into my head. I'm not going to lie. I feel like there could be like a bill, or it could be like a tax bill or something, right? And I feel like it would just be better for you to pay it off right now and don't let it like sit around. I don't know. Someone needs to hear that because, I feel like there could be something that is kind of like sitting around, and I feel like it needs to be kind of paid off right now. let's put it that way. Next, over the next few months, you have the High Priestess. So you feeling like yourself. What I would say here is I feel like you already have some ideas right now, especially for those of you interested in career or business. Even if you're retired, I would say this could be like a personal project or something. And the High Priestess, she represents potential. If you see here, there's no roof over her head, and it kind of represents unlimited potential. The only problem with the High Priestess is that, it's not really a problem, but, the only thing is that you have to take action with the High Priestess. I think a good place for you to start would be imagination. You see here, she has this crown on her head, and that crown represents 3 stages of the moon, and it kind of represents the fact that she sees the beginning, middle, and end of a situation that she enters into before it happens. So she literally imagines her future as she wants it to go, and she uses that to create her future in front of her. So I feel for some of you that would be very helpful. Obviously, we're going to get more details on this in just a minute. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Six of Wands. I feel like people are thinking very highly of you, and this is only going to increase over the next several years. This is kind of like it's more popping into my head as a longer term message for you, Pisces, and it makes sense based off your astrology and based off some other things that have been going on. I feel like people are going to have a very high opinion of you in the future. I feel like people are really going to be looking up to you. As far as I'm concerned, this is your duty. I think in the 2021 yearly readings, it might have been around there somewhere, I was saying Pisces is literally based off your astrology. It is your duty to be an inspiration to other people right now, your spiritual duty, right? And some people say how am I going to inspire a bunch of people? Doesn't even have to be a bunch of people. It could just be one person. I think people don't realize the power of just doing something for one person, right? And if everybody did that, then we'd probably live in a much better world. So don't sell yourself short, and don't say this is whatever I'm doing is only going to inspire one person. That's enough. That's good enough, right? So you don't have to inspire tons and tons of people. Do what you can. And, I feel like you will be. It's you are, because the energy is there. I always tell people it's astrology, tarot doesn't control your life, but it's just energy that we have to take advantage of. If we take advantage of it, then, we're working with the energy. If we do nothing, then obviously nothing is going to happen. But, what I would say here is that I feel like there's a ton of attention coming in for you. Again, I do feel something about love here. So if you want love, could be an earth sign, like I said. I don't know, there's something different here, though. I don't know, we'll get it in the clarification. Next, in the area of your future feelings, Pisces, I do feel that you see the future very clearly. I feel like you're very matter of fact. I do feel like some of you are kind of coming off as a little bit cold here. I don't mean that in a bad way, by the way, Pisces. I'm wondering if some of you are just kind of like, being very matter of fact with people in your life in general with the Queen of Swords, especially in love. I feel like if people aren't coming correct, I feel like you're chopping them out very, very quickly. I feel like you've gone through a transformation. You see how on this deck, the After Tarot, she's really looking up to that butterfly that is on the tip of her sword there. And, I'm getting a million things popping into my head. Number one, I feel like you don't have to use your sword. I've been saying it, I think I said at the beginning of this year or somewhere around there. You kept getting like one of the Hawk cards or something like that. And I was saying to you how, Hawk Medicine, that's popping into my head with this card, by the way. Hawk Medicine is about the fact that you could rip someone's head off, like if someone came to you the wrong way. But do you need to? It's like, do you really need to use your words to verbally destroy someone even though you could, or can you just let something go? And I feel that energy here, but I feel like you are letting something go, number one. Number two, I feel like it's like she's got her hand out, but she's focused on that butterfly on the tip of her sword there. And so, I feel like you're very focused on your own transformation and your own change this year, not even just like right now, but for the rest of next year as well, I would say, from now through 2023. And I feel like you kind of have your hand out. You're like, okay, like if someone shows up, if people in my life, not even love, just if people need something, I'm here to help, right? But I'm focusing on my transformation. It seems to be your like main focus. And at the end here for your outcome, you have the Fool here. I don't, this Fool is kind of, I kind of like it, I kind of don't in this deck. I feel like you set yourself free. Number one, we have the ice right here on the top of the Hermit, right? The story of the Hermit is that his feet might actually be frozen at the top of the mountain. There is normally ice in the background of the Fool. There kind of is some ice back here. You can see it right back here. And it kind of represents like either needing to get started or just needing to not get started. The choice is yours, right? But I would definitely say I feel like you are taking some sort of leap of faith at this time of your life. And, it's kind of funny that this dog, you look at this. You see this dog here. The dog's like, oh my God, what are you doing? And I feel like that's how people might see some of the actions that you are taking at this time specifically. And also, I would say until like March, people might think that you're taking crazy actions or, they might just not understand what you're doing. I do feel that feeling there. But so what is what I say. I feel like you're right. So don't, like, he's hanging there, but I feel like you need to trust that, the step will appear basically. With the Nine of Wands and the Hermit, you have the Judgment card. If you went through something that put you in the wounded warrior type of energy, I feel like that this has brought you closer to who you actually are. And, it's kind of funny because, again, I feel like you could be leaving someone behind, but it could also just be a person, place, or thing. That's literally what popped into my head at the beginning of the reading, that some of you could be, maybe it's not a person, maybe it's a job or whatever, but like whatever you have been going through, I feel like it's making you who you truly are. It's like you're stepping more into your actual self. I feel like you've been very close over the past few years as well, Pisces. That's what the Six of Wands really tells me. The Six of Wands, the story about the Six of Wands is that he's been to war and now he's coming back. So it's like he went through something difficult, Nine of Wands as well, right? Showing up in your reading, and you have that Seven of Wands where they're fighting. So in your past position, it's like you've been to war. It maybe not literally, of course, but you've been through some stuff. It has made you who you are, and it's like you're kind of exposing your true self here. I love this. With the King of Pentacles in the area of your thoughts, you have this Nine of Wands again. I feel like you need to open up here. It's funny that I said these cards do not focus on these cameras for some reason, but what I would say is it's funny that I said convention on the King of Pentacles because the Nine of Wands is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So it is my card of experimentation. It is my card of like trying something new. So I would definitely say, experiment with some of your thoughts and take action. With the Page of Swords, you have the Hangman, Pisces, showing up here. I kind of feel like this is just saying that there's a connection between the Page of Swords and the High Priestess, that Piscean change here. I feel like you've been in Hangman mode, and now you're kind of like getting ready to move forward. With the Seven of Swords in your past position, you do have the Six of Cups. So some of you could have gone through some difficulties or challenges with a past relationship. For others, I feel that you are maybe kind of moving on from a lot of stuff from your past. Like we all have past traumas and not even traumas. We all have like just things that maybe made us who we are. But it's almost as if that Six of Cups and the Seven of Wands is saying that you are, I feel like you're realizing that there are some things you have to leave in the past, and there could be some good things that you have to leave in the past as well. And there could be some bad things, but I feel like you're kind of like outgrowing something is what I'm getting there. I don't know how else to describe it. It feels good, whatever it is. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Page of Wands here. Again, if you're looking for love, I would definitely get out of the house, Pisces, as I always say. I feel like you could be meeting someone through social media, you could be meeting someone through socializing, or you could be meeting someone through travel or adventure with this Page of Wands, so I definitely feel that would be good for you. I also feel like there's like a need to take some sort of risk here, like if you're interested in a person, maybe you have to like talk to them more, maybe you have to learn how to flirt, I don't know, figure something out is what I would say. But I feel like there's just like an energy of doing a little bit more. I also feel that a lot of you could be traveling. I mean, we talk about this all the time. It makes sense to me just based off your astrology again, that over the next years, some of you could be traveling a lot, moving a lot. Wouldn't surprise me. With the High Priestess, you have the Knight of Swords here. Knight of Swords says, do not try to force things to happen. I kind of feel like you are in that mode, though. Normally on the Knight of Swords, the horse that the knight is riding on looks very stressed out. It's like he's forcing something to happen. He's being too hasty. And, I feel like for some of you, I don't really get necessarily that energy, but, and I feel like this is an energy you're moving past. I feel like if things are just not working, then you just aren't doing them any longer. Whatever it is, could be relationships, could be businesses, could be ideas that you have. I feel like you're more in the flow with this High Priestess energy. So I actually feel pretty good about that. With the Six of Wands, you have the Death card, definitely going through a major transformation here. Whenever I have Judgment, like Death or Judgment in the Tower, for example, to me, those are like the two most powerful, combinations in the tarot, basically. So I feel like you are going through a major transformation. Could also be a Scorpio coming in for some of you. I would say whoever this person is, I think they probably have a lot of Earth in their chart, or, we all express energy differently. So, this person's probably very grounded and stable. Even they might have no Earth in their chart, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be grounded and stable, right? And I feel like this person is very resourceful as well. So, I don't know. There you go. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Two of Swords. I really feel this is kind of like encouraging you to take a risk. I would make sure that if you're entering into new connections as well, like new relationships, that you make sure that you're entering into it new. I feel like you need to make sure that you're not punishing a new person for a past person's mistakes, as I always say. So, I would just be, if a person's approaching you, I'd go for it. For others, I feel like what's transforming here is you're realizing, like, I feel like that you're just realizing there are like certain things that you can't negotiate. It could be like love. It's like you can't really negotiate love. You can't negotiate someone into loving you or into being with you or any of those things, right? And I'm not saying that you're like giving up. I feel like you're just like more. Again, I hate to use this term because I feel like it's so overused, but I do feel like you're in receptive mode, like Empress mode. Kind of just like receiving. It doesn't matter what gender you are either. I feel like you're just kind of in this kind of receptive mode. But here's the thing about receptive mode that I think people need to understand is like you can't just be a slouch and expect to receive things. Your energy has to be at a certain level, and that's what's going on here. I feel like you have raised your vibration. It's not like you're not being lazy. I feel like you are going to opportunities, but you're also making sure that it's not even like an equal, I don't even think it's about equal give and take here. I think it's just about receiving in general. So, that's kind of that's how I feel like where you're at. With the Fool, what do you know? You have the Ten of Pentacles. I'm telling you right now. See, here's the thing. I wouldn't even focus on love if I were you. I would focus on all the things that you want to create, especially if you're working on a Ten of Pentacles, which is like building or leaving a legacy, because then naturally you will get those things. I did a podcast with Leo King, like, I don't know, it was a crazy long time ago now. It was like in September, which I can't believe that we're already at the end of the year. And it seems like it was just yesterday. And he asked me why I don't do love readings really, and I said because I think when we get our life in order, when we have when we're operating at our best, that's when we attract the best love. So it's like love is kind of not. I don't really see it as a side effect. I see it as something we attract when we are the best version of ourselves. So I feel like some of you, it's like you're changing your focus to building like true stability, true success, Ten of Pentacles, whatever that means for you. It's something different for everyone. because of that, I feel like you could be like attracting people in the future who have a lot to offer. You could be attracting people like more to offer than you've ever experienced in the past, or, whatever the case may be. So, you know, that's what's going on here, Pisces. I want to pull 5 main themes for you this week. So we are going to see in this card, we're not going to really take it because it was upside down for some reason, but you have this rose card. It was upside down in there. It says romance is in the air, and it was under this dark man card. So there could definitely be a person coming in for you at this time, but let's see. You have this chain card. It says chain of events that will affect your life. This is Page of Swords to the High Priestess. It's like one thing is leading to another. I would really follow the breadcrumbs at this time. And I'm not talking about someone breadcrumbing you. I'm talking about you become interested in something that leads to something else that leads to something else. It's like a famous Pisces, Steve Jobs, right? He said you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking back. And I feel some of you are really connecting the dots. I feel like you're kind of like seeing how things where things are going. The weird thing is that like what's popping into my head right now is that it doesn't mean anything. What I just said was word salad. Didn't mean anything. What I feel like it means is that you are becoming more open. I feel like it means that you're like, because you are realizing that like one thing has led to another in your life, I feel like you're like, wait, I want to open up to more opportunities because who knows what it'll lead to in the future. I feel like you're being more curious, like I said. You have this hat card. It says you will be playing a different role. Definitely a change for you here. I feel like you're like stepping into leadership opportunities, leadership roles, things like that. I would be looking for those opportunities as well. Like if you have a job or a career, I'd be looking for that. And again, even if you're retired, same thing. It's like just because you're retired doesn't mean you can't take the lead in your like church group or some group or something like that, right? So, I think that would be a great opportunity. You have this dark man card. It says dealings with relationships with a man with dark hair or complexion. It could be a man, woman, whatever you're into. I don't care. I don't attach gender in these general readings. You have the scales card. It says keep your life in balance. I kind of feel like this is a lesson that you've learned here, Pisces. As far as love is concerned, that if like you have love, maybe sometimes your life gets out of balance, or maybe, work suffers, or maybe your business doesn't do as well, or, whatever, right? And so I feel like you've learned that, to balance things out. So I kind of feel that's how I would be thinking if I were you. I'm a Pisces. I think we fall in love hard and, really hard. And, then we want to be with the person, or we want to give them energy, or whatever the case may be. And I feel like this is saying, like, that's fine, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, make sure you're, like, living your life. Make sure you're doing other things. You have this hammock card. It says taking a vacation physically or mentally. I mean, I see a lot of vacation opportunities for you, Pisces. Like if I were you, Pisces, and I basically am, as I always joke, right? I think there's just so many benefits in travel, moving, exploring, all those words, like all those things. And even like if you have a home-based business or something like that, like take it on the road, right? Because I just see so many opportunities for you because you never know what you could run into. You never know what you could find, right? Next, you have this nest card. It says an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. 10 of Pentacles. I feel like you are just building your 10 of Pentacles here. I freaking love this reading. I feel like it's about a big opportunity that you're like working towards the High Priestess. Something that you see a lot of potential in, that is your 10 of Pentacles. I would take it, Pisces.